The Avengers are back in the latest Infinity War trailer, so IGN's Marvel experts have assembled to break down all the details frame by frame. There's a lot to unpack here and a lot to get excited about, so let's get into it. The trailer starts with some kind of vessel approaching above the Manhattan skyline. It must be Thanos' ship, which we later see has made landfall near the city. Meanwhile, Guardians of the Galaxy's Gamora talks in voiceover about Thanos' lifelong goal to wipe out half the universe. Everybody needs goals, right? In fact, this ties in directly to the comics. At the start of the 1991 Infinity Gauntlet storyline, Thanos did exactly that with a snap of his fingers, just like Gamora predicts here. During that VO, we see Bruce Banner, Black Widow, and War Machine. Though they likely reunited earlier in the movie, this is the first time the audience has seen Natasha and Bruce, not Hulk, but Bruce, on screen together since he ghosted at the end of Civil War. But where are they here? On some sort of airship? The trailer also cuts to Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, where it looks like Tony Stark is, judging by the decorative style. But Gamora appears to be on a spaceship, so even though this section of the trailer is edited to look like the two are talking, it seems like these bits of dialogue are actually from separate scenes. Now pay attention because this part's really important. Thanos is dropping the Space Stone into the Infinity Gauntlet. This stone was once encased by the Tesseract, which is what Loki stole from Asgard at the end of Thor Ragnarok, and we see him presenting it to somebody, presumably Thanos, in the first trailer. This seems to correlate with what we see later in the trailer when Thanos is crushing Thor's head, apparently in front of Loki and the Black Order. It seems Thanos came after Loki when he sensed the Space Stone, and these scenes take place shortly after Thanos' ship showed up at the end of Ragnarok. A lot of fans didn't like the look of Thanos without his helmet in previous Infinity War marketing materials, and here we see him taking it off, going for a more casual look. This looks to be the same scene where Thanos confronts Loki and Thor. The big question is whether Thanos just killed every remaining Asgardian. All the flames and wreckage seem to hint that's a possibility, albeit a pretty crummy possibility considering the entire plot of Ragnarok was to save them. We can also see that Thanos already has the Power Stone here, which was last seen on Xandar in Guardians of the Galaxy. This means he likely attacked the Nova Corps and stole it before the movie starts. And here's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This moment must be a continuation of the scene from the first trailer where Peter was on his school bus when the ship first appeared in NYC. Also, it's a very Spidey comic book thing for him to only have part of his costume like this. Here's that same circular ship over New York City from a different angle. Clearly, this is something sent by Thanos. Here's Iron Man flying up after the ship, deploying a new rocket booster thingamajig that's likely only the first part of his new armor. This suit is based on the Bleeding Edge armor from the comics, which is based on nanotechnology and can essentially morph into different forms and weapons as needed. Here's another important public service announcement for you. At this point in the movie, at least, Doctor Strange still has the Eye of Agamotto, which holds the Time Stone. Also, the Vision is alive and wears those great sweaters, simply because of the Mind Stone. So when Tony says here that they have what Thanos wants, he's got to be referring to Viz and the Eye. There's also the matter of the missing Soul Stone, which is yet to appear in the MCU as far as we know. Many have speculated that Thanos invades Wakanda in Infinity War because the Black Panther has that stone. But here we see a bunch of Avengers arrive in Wakanda, including the Vision. It's also worth noting that the Reality Stone was last known to be in the possession of the Collector, so that seemingly is still outside of the grasp of Thanos for at least a chunk of this movie. Wakanda! We know from our visit to the set of Infinity War that the Guardians of the Galaxy end up there. Also popping in are Cap and his squad of Avengers, who we know are there to ask King T'Challa for Wakanda's help against Thanos. This is probably the first time Cap has returned since dropping off Bucky at the end of Civil War. It's also notable that Banner was last seen with Thor at the end of Ragnarok and was afraid that he might not be able to change back from his Hulk form again. Remember in the first trailer we saw Banner had dropped literally into Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, which seemed to be his return to Earth? Perhaps Thor stood his ground against Thanos and sent Hulk to warn the Avengers. Also, he is reluctant to turn back into the Hulk considering how long he spent as the other guy while on Sakaar. Here's Shuri, who we love so much. That's the Vision she's scoping out in the hologram. It seems the Vision arrives in Wakanda, wounded from when the Black Order tried to take his Mind Stone in an earlier scene, so who better to patch up the Avenger made out of vibranium than Vibranium Whiz, Shuri. Here are the Guardians landing where? On a ship perhaps. That spherical ship on the left of the screen looks like the mining vehicle from the first Guardians movie. So maybe the team returned to nowhere, home of the Collector. That would make sense if Thor told them that Thanos is searching for the stone since the Collector was last known to have the Reality Stone. And can we take a moment to acknowledge how awesome this is? Iron Man, Star-Lord, Drax, and Spider-Man are all hanging out together and annoying each other? Based on online speculation, this might be Titan, which is Thanos' homeworld. He's known as the Mad Titan after all. Also, Spidey has on the Iron Spider armor now, the same suit he turned down at the end of Homecoming. Back to Wakanda, the good guys are amassing for their battle with Thanos' army that we've seen in earlier trailers. What exactly are his ships doing here? Terraforming, or maybe searching for that meteor that brought Wakanda all that sweet, sweet vibranium? Could the vibranium motherlode somehow contain the Soul Stone? Hulkbuster for the win. We think it's Banner piloting the armor, by the way, because he doesn't want to Hulk out, even though we know he's totally going to Hulk out eventually, hopefully while wearing the armor. There is a precedent for this in the comics. Here's Thor with Rocket and Groot. The trailer makes it look like he's charging up his new thunder powers, but this could be trailer trickery, as in the background it looks like that same gate from the first trailer that we think he used to create a replacement for Mjolnir, which was destroyed by Hela in Ragnarok. It could be that in the final version of this shot, the lightning will actually feature the Thunder God holding his new Stormbreaker weapon. We see another one of these circular ships crashing here. Is this Titan? Or perhaps it's Gamora's homeworld. In a flashback scene, we see Thanos and baby Gamora, who of course he adopted, aka abducted, and raised as his daughter. Gamora's people can be seen being held at bay here. Don't forget Thanos killed her entire race. Is this the moment where that genocide began? Perhaps Gamora is relating the story to Thor in the wake of his dealing with the possible death of all the Asgardians. And here's that shot of Loki flanked by the Black Order, though they're pointing their weapons at him. The Black Order, also known sometimes as the Children of Thanos, here are Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and Cull Obsidian. And Thanos destroys the Tesseract here in order to get the Space Stone inside. Back to Wakanda and the fight against Thanos, and then a really fun bit where Doc Strange and Star-Lord work together, with Star-Lord playing hopscotch on some of Doc Strange's magical projections. We think this takes place on a Titan too. Does Thanos have the Mind Stone at this point when Doctor Strange is getting seriously messed with? This Black Order member, by the way, is Ebony Maw, whose powers of manipulation were also used to counter Doctor Strange in the comics. These critters the Avengers and Wakandans are fighting are genetically engineered things called Outriders, and this could be that moment we were hoping for earlier where Banner winds up hulking out. Tony's suit is wrecked here, and this all looks kind of similar to his apocalyptic vision in Age of Ultron that prompted him to create Ultron. And here's some more clever editing. First, Thanos is jumping on Titan in the air, and then things cut to Cap grabbing his hand, clearly on Wakanda. This moment comes directly from the comics where Cap bravely faced down Thanos, even though, let's face it, he doesn't have a chance against the Mad Titan's ultimate power. Since Thanos only has the power and space stones here, we're thinking this scene takes place after the Asgardian attack, but before things move to Titan. Funny jokes from Spider-Man aside, this scene is more important than it may seem. Is Strange missing the Mind Stone in the Eye of Agamotto in this shot? Did Thanos get to him earlier in the movie with help from Ebony Maw? Or is the eye just closed? Either way, it's fun to see these guys meet for the first time. And that's everything we found in the new Avengers Infinity War trailer. What else did you pick up? Let us know in the comments, and for more Infinity War, check out what we saw on the set of the film, or get clued in our theory about Thor's new hammer. And be sure to like and subscribe to your IGN platform of choice.